Maverick Football with Sandy Buda and Ross Jernstrom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of Maverick Football. I'm Ross Jernstrom, along with head coach Sandy Buda. Well, for the second year in a row, the UNO Mavericks are the co-champions in the North Central Conference. On Saturday, the second-ranked Mavs beat Mankato State 28-7 to gain a share of the conference title along with North Dakota State. Sandy, how does it feel to win it the second time around?
Very good feeling, Ross. As I told our players before the ball game and after the ball game, they accomplished probably the toughest thing there is to do in athletics is to repeat as champion, because everybody is shooting for you that second year. You don't sneak up on anybody, and preseason-wise, we were one of the picks, and our guys just went out and made it happen. They played 11 good football games, and luckily we won 10 of them. It's just a great accomplishment, and I feel real good about it.
You won the championship the hard way. You played in 4 inches of snow. How difficult were the conditions up there?
Probably the pictures won't do justice because it was truly 4 inches of snow on the field. The wind was blowing 25 to 30 miles an hour, so if you were going against the wind, it was almost impossible to throw the football. We didn't throw it very much, but a few key times. Just the worst weather conditions I've probably played a football game in or been around, and yet our players just went out and said, hey, we're going to have fun this afternoon, and they made great catches, they made great blocks, they played good defense, and I'm sure Mankato State was saying, hey, we're from the cold country, these guys down south aren't going to like this weather, and they didn't realize we're from the state of Nebraska. We've seen snow before.
What was your reaction when you came up there to the stadium and saw all that snow on the field and none of it was even cleared off?
Ross, it can't be repeated on a show like this. Obviously, I was upset, but they just made no effort to get the field cleaned. It wasn't a big ball game for them. The season was over for them, and obviously there was a lot riding on the line for us, and I think we probably, our players got a little mad at that, and maybe it helped us a little bit, but definitely once the ball game started, and you'll see the first 2 times UNO's got the football, our guys just made 2 great catches, and we just said, the heck with the weather, we're going to play good football.
Well, you did. When we come back, we'll take a look at the first half highlights right after this timeout. It looked like a winter wonderland in Mankato on Saturday. The temperature was 29 degrees. The field was covered with 4 inches of snow, and there was a 20-mile-an-hour wind. Sandy, you had the wind in the first quarter, and you really took advantage of it.
No question, the wind was a factor. They won the toss. They elected to receive, so we took the wind. We would have done the same thing probably. And our defense, it's really important here to stop a football team when they're going against a tough wind, and we do that. Right here we're going to see Parnell Bryant. Covered in the flat, he comes off the quarterback reading his eyes and intercepts the ball, gives us good field position at the 44-yard line, and right off the bat, the first play of the game, our offense shows what they're going to do with the football in cold weather. Randy Duran's going to throw to Terry Allen for a 16-yard gain. I think this first play is a key in the ball game because it made our players realize we can throw and catch the ball in this type of weather. Gives us a first down. A few plays later, on 3rd down and 15. Randy Duran's going to hit James Quate for a first down on a 16-yard gain. Did you see right here again, good throw, good catch by James. We're adjusting to the conditions. Mankato State, surprisingly, is not. A few plays later, Duran's going to throw over the middle to Terry Allen again for a 17-yard gain. Good pass protection by our offensive line.
All right, then we pick up action, 2nd and goal at the 2, and you put the ball up again, and Randy's just going to flip it over to Kevin Monroe. Watch this pass, not really a spiral. The wind maybe kind of shook that pass up a little.
Good adjustment by Kevin Monroe off a bootleg action. Randy probably could have run the ball in, but the important thing is we got a touchdown. We're going to see Greg Morris kick the extra point right here, and boy, oh boy, was this a good way to start off a big ball game.
9 plays, 56-yard drive. The score is 7-0. And then we're going to see, hey, look at these guys, the coaches up in the press box. Boy, they're keeping warm during the game. And then we're going to see one of the big pass plays in the game, pass from Randy Duran to Rick Detmer.
This is a special formation Chuck Osberg put in called Coyote. We're going to get to go to the computer board to show this formation, a surprise element after we got a turnover. What we did is we lined up 3 receivers right here in a row. The first one's Rick Detmer, the second one's James Quates, and the third one's Terry Allen. On the snap, what we did is we sent Rick Detmer on a post pattern. We sent James Quates on a streak pattern, and we sent Terry Allen in the flat, and of course Randy Naran drops back with the fullback blocking over here, and we caught Mankato in a surprise. The people in the secondary weren't lined up properly, and of course Randy Naran threw a pass. He dropped back, he reads the receivers, he threw to Rick Detmer for a 35-yard gain. A big play, but we do have a fumble on it, so it ended up being just as good as a punt formation, but it was a surprise element. Good call by Chuck Osberg. We're going to see it again here.
Okay, Randy passes to Rick Detmer. Great catch all the way downfield, 35-yard gain. And then Randy is going to put the ball up again. This time, he is going to pass to Terry Allen. He was the offensive player of the game along with Randy Duran. Good catch by Terry over the middle for 13 yards.
You're going to see again a very good catch. Naran to Allen. Watch this one-handed catch here. We're going to see this play twice in the cold. This is what's unbelievable, to see a catch like this, and we're going to go back to it again. The weather conditions, the wind, there was just no way for your hands to be comfortable, but yet Terry Allen and all of our receivers show the athletic ability that they have. Once again, the same catch over his head, pulls it down in the wind and snow, and gets a good first down situation. Then 2 plays later, on 2nd and goal on the 4, Randy Naran's going to hit James Quates. Watch this throw and catch. Right over the defender's helmet. James adjusts to it, and we've got another touchdown, a 13-0 lead, and then Greg Morris adds the extra point.
All right, we're midway through the first quarter now. The score is 14-0, UNO over Mankato State.
Right here, it shows the 2 people from University Audio Visual, Ed Babick and Steve Piper, who were there filming the game for us. They were up probably 200 feet in the air and getting a lot of wind.
The defense really played well in the game. We're going to see Keith Coleman make a good tackle here.
Keith Coleman, Darren Littner, and Parnell Bryant in on the stop. A very good play. Now we have a very unusual play. They're forced to punt the football. They fumble the ball. We have a couple guys slip in the snow. We have a return on, and we actually end up blocking downfield for their own punter. It does give them a first down. A few plays later on 3rd down and 8, McDivitt's going to be passed back to pass, and he's going to be surrounded by Kevin Hageman first, is the first one to wrap him up and pull him down. And again, good job by our defense after having that unfortunate 2-point play. There's the UNO band. Several of the people were up there. We were really glad that they were up there supporting us. Then we get the football. Randy Naran's going to throw a 26-yard completion to Kevin Monroe. Good throw, good catch, right over the middle.
That's the end of the first quarter. Randy Naran completed 15 of 28 passes for 206 yards in the game, 14-0, end of the first quarter. Let's go into second quarter action now, and a good rush by the defense here.
74, Thurman Ballard right there along with Keith Coleman really put pressure on McDivitt, their freshman quarterback. It definitely hindered Mankato State, the pressure that our defense put on them. Now we get the football, and Randy Naran's going to throw a pass for an 18-yard gain again to Terry Allen. He caught 8 passes for 127 yards, and that's why he's the leading receiver in the North Central Conference. We are forced to punt the football after that completion, and of course they're going to get the football.
All right, then we're going to see McDivitt pass, and this pass is going to be intercepted by Ray Stalen. A good interception by Ray downfield.
Ray continues to play very solid football for us. The senior from Grand Island, Nebraska, makes a great catch. Then returns the ball 14 yards in tough conditions right here. Gets us good field position. We don't do anything with it. We're forced to punt the football. They're going to get the ball back here, and on 3rd down and 3 on the 28-yard line, we're going to see the King here get the ball on a handoff and hit immediately by Mark Watkins and Darren Littner, our 2 fine linebackers who are really having good solid years, along with Steve Hoy. A few plays later on 2nd down and 8 on the 23, Brown's going to carry the ball on a reverse play, and very good job of defense in here. They do force a fumble, and Jim Nicola from UNO Omaha South, sophomore defensive tackle, comes up with the football.
The Mankato coach, Dan Runkle, was very upset on the sidelines after this fumble. What's he so upset about?
Well, he couldn't quite see that the young man did fumble the football before he hit the ground in the mass of bodies. It was on our side of the field, and so we were able to see it. But it's understandable that he would question that call. Of course, we've got one more play left in the half right here, and McDivitt's going to throw for Brown and Bob Root. The other senior corner from Grand Island, co-captain, makes his first interception of the year to end the half.
All right, the score at the half was UNO 14 and Mankato State nothing. Even though you got 14 points right away, the team kind of stalled there in the second quarter. Was it because of the wind, or were you concerned at all?
No question, it's the wind. We just couldn't throw the football. They couldn't throw the football against the wind, so you were pretty much forced into a ground game. And both times, the 3 times we took over the football, we were in poor field position. No one scored a touchdown at the north end of the field where the wind was blowing there. All the touchdowns were scored at the south end with the wind, and we made the closest penetration in the fourth quarter.
Well, coming up next on Maverick Football, we'll take a look at those second half highlights right after this message. Coming into the third quarter, UNO led Mankato State 14-0. Again, the Mavs had the win in the third quarter, and you elected to take it?
No question. We talked about at halftime, we're going to take the win instead of the football, try to get 2 more touchdowns on the board, and right off the bat here we have a corner blitz. Daryl Peitzmeyer and Mark Murphy sack McDevitt for a loss of 6. We get the football back, and on 3rd down and 6, we're going to see Randy Duran right here complete a pass to Terry Allen for a 7-yard gain and a first down. But we've got to score with the win, no question. We get 2 touchdowns in the third quarter and really put the ball game away. Now we're going to see Randy Duran on a rollout pass here. Everybody's covered. He decides to pull the ball down. He gets a 6-yard gain on the rollout. We come right back 2 plays later on 3rd and 4 with a rollout pass, and you're going to see a great throw and a great catch by Terry Allen right here on the sideline, gets his feet down in bounds. We want to see it again because it's a key point in the ball game. We get down to the 10-yard line because of a good throw and a good catch on rollout right here. You'll see some athletic ability by 14 and 87.
All right, Terry Allen, he had 8 receptions for 117 yards. That makes it all the way down to the 10-yard line. And then Steve Basidas takes it in from there. They
had a blitz on, and we adjusted to it real well, and Steve does a good job of getting in the end zone, shows good speed in spite of the snow. And, of course, Greg Morris will come in to kick the extra point, gives us a 21-0 lead. This is really important right here. Now we've relaxed just a little bit. We know we've got a good control of the ball game. We know that now we can do some extra things.
And then your defense comes up with a big play. Mark Watkins, this passes right to him, intercepts the ball.
Our defense did a tremendous job Saturday of turning the ball over and never really getting in too bad of trouble until we'll show a great goal line stand. But Mark Watkins, a junior linebacker from Blair, really does a good job right there and gets us back offense and good field position on the 30. On 2nd and 5, though, we're going to see a trap pass right here thrown 22 yards to Terry Allen. A good throw and a good catch down to the 3-yard line. Then we're going to see Brian Nelson go up the middle on a trap play. Good blocks by Joe Tangeman, Ron Peterson for the touchdown.
3 plays, 30 yards. That makes the score UNO 28 and Mankato State nothing. And were you kind of concerned your team maybe just kind of give up here a little and be a little cautious?
Well, not really. We felt like we've got the ball game under control. We don't make any big mistakes. There we see Thurman Ballard and Daryl Peitzmeyer coming through, 2 seniors for a loss of 2 yards. We do force them to punt the football. We get the ball. We don't do anything with it. Now Jeff Pate's going to punt the football right here. He gets roughed as he punts the football. They had constantly a 10-man rush on us all day trying to block a punt. Steve Wise makes the tackle there, but it's only a 5-yard penalty. It was 4th and 7, now it's 4th and 2, so we call punt pass. Definitely a way to discourage a 10-man rush. Jeff Pate does a good job of completing a 35-yard pass to Rick Detmer. He does fumble the football. They do recover it, but they get the ball around their 23-yard line, so it ended up being as good as a punt, but it could have been a very big play for us.
And your defense comes in to stop it. We're going to see a good play by Gary Keck and Kevin Hageman.
Kevin, of course, is from Nyack Junior College in Decorah, Iowa, and Gary Keck, of course, from Grand Island. They sack him for a 2-yard loss. We got a good kicking situation. Jeff Pate right here out of our own end zone has a 56-yard punt. He did a good job of punting the ball. Greg Morris did a good job of kickoffs. But that's a big play right there. And Brad Beckman does a good job, sophomore tight end from Omaha Northwest, makes the tackle. But our kicking game was exceptional under the weather conditions.
All right, they've got the win down. They're going to put the ball up in the air. And Steve Hoy comes almost up with an interception right there. Almost had it.
Once again, started to run the football before he caught it. But here's a great goal line stand. They've got the ball 2nd and goal on the 1-yard line. They run a dive play. Nicola Murphy and Hoy stop them. Now it's 3rd down and 1. Byer's going to try to dive off the right side. Gary Keck and Mark Watkins make the tackle. Now it's 4th and 1 on the 1-yard line. O'Connor's going to carry the ball, and you see number 90, Mark Watkins, comes up and makes a tackle short of the goal line. Great goal line stand That's what all great football teams are capable of, and of course, that was a fun thing for us to happen in the ball game Saturday.
And you have the ball back and you punt it back to them, and your defense comes up with another good play.
Gary Baker, Jr., comes up, hits the defender, the receiver. He fumbles the football. Keith Coleman recovers it, gives us good field position on the 40-yard line. Our offense, we're going to see right there, the official obviously scared me a little bit. He's signaling the wrong way, but Jeff Hardy gets the football in the very next play, picks up 6 yards. Good block by Ron Peterson, Joe Tangeman, Kevin Monroe. We are forced to punt the football. They get the football, run about 6 plays. They've got a 1st and 10 situation on our own 20. O'Connor's going to throw a touchdown pass right here over the head of Dan Nielsen. He slipped down, and of course, Woodnick, their former quarterback, caught the touchdown for their only score.
And about 7 minutes left in the ball game, and you just keep the ball on the ground and take control of the game.
This is against the wind. I was proud of this drive. Jeff Hardy carried the ball there for 9 yards, but we controlled the football the last 7 minutes and 25 seconds. There, Jeff Hardy carries the ball again. Good block by Brad Beckman. A few plays later, Mike Reznicki's going to go right here up the middle for a gain of 5. Good line charge. We need this against the wind. And then on the almost last play, Randy Naran's going to run a toss sweep to Jeff Hardick. He's going to pick up 10 yards and a first down. Good blocking again by Ron Peterson, Brad Beckman, Steve Wise, and Jerry Kreipel to end the football game.
The final score in the ball game was UNO 28 and Mankato State 7. UNO clinches a share of the title in the North Central Conference. Let's take a look at the stats in the ball game, and passing yardage seemed to be the big difference.
No question. It was a tough day to run the football, and of course the way Randy threw the ball and the way James and Kevin and Terry caught the football, it was a day to throw it for 2 quarters. The other 2 you couldn't throw it. The 98 and 106 yards rushing was about as good as 2 teams could do. The key in the ball game, of course, is they had 2 lost fumbles, and they threw 4 interceptions, so they had 6 turnovers, and we really only had 2 turnovers. So it was a good, solid win in terrible conditions to clinch a conference championship and a playoff berth.
All right, let's take a look at the conference standings, the final ones. UNO and North Dakota State tied for first place. That's always good to see.
It's good to see us up the top there with a 10-1 overall record and 8-1 along with North Dakota State. South Dakota was a good football team. They proved that. They're 8-3 overall and 7-2 in the conference, of course. And North Dakota U won big over Morningside Sunday afternoon, and they're 8-3. And of course, Morningside finished with their first winning season in a long time. They were a good, solid football team. So all in all, the balance of the North Central Conference showed up once again.
4 players shared top honors this week at UNO. The players of the week on offense were Randy Naran and Terry Allen. Gary Kick and Parnell Bryant took defensive honors. Who else played well in that game?
Mark Watkins, Keith Coleman, Mark Murphy played extremely well on the defensive side of the football. Several of our offensive linemen played good, solid football for us. It was just all in all a very good team win. Our specialty teams did a good job. Greg Morris and Jeff Pate, as I mentioned during the highlights, kicked phenomenally for the type of weather conditions. I was very proud of those 2 young men.
I was just surprised that how well the team played. It didn't even seem like the snow bothered them at all.
They just made a point. They say, we're going to win the game, Coach, under any condition, and that's exactly what they did. They didn't let the weather bother them one bit. In fact, as I mentioned, they had fun during the ball game. The only ones that didn't have fun were the cold coaches and the fans up in the stands and the people taking the films. But I was just amazed at how they adjusted to the conditions. Ross, we've won in intense heat. We've won on nice days and nice nights. We've won on windy days. We've won in the rain and the mud, and now we've won in snow. So there's nothing in McAllen, Texas that'll surprise us.
Okay, when we come back, we'll take a look at the 1984 senior class right after this. There are 20 seniors on this year's team. They have helped UNO win 2 conference championships. Sandy, let's take a look at the 1984 senior class.
Great bunch of seniors, the 20 young men. They've been exceptional leaders. First off, we're going to see Steve Wise, a 2-year letterman, transferred from Coffeyville Junior College, an excellent football player. He's an excellent downfield blocker from Ulysses, Kansas, a young man that always gives us 110%. Charlie Hagan, 2-year letterman, starter at center the last 9 games, probably the most consistent offensive lineman, a junior college All-American at Coffeyville. Bruce Farrell, 2-year letterman, excellent utility lineman, a business major from Omaha West Side. Ron Peterson, the next young man, co-captain 3-year starter for us, 2-year letterman, a pro prospect, one of our fine snappers and a leader on the offensive line. Pat Keene, a young man, a 3-year letterman out of Bryan High School, has played both center and guard for us. Another young man that gets the most out of his ability, fine football player and a very fine young man. Joe Tangeman from Bryan High School, 2-year letterman, 2-year starter, the best long snapper we've had at UNO in the 7 years I've been here, and played probably his best year. Randy Naran, co-captain, has passed for over 5,800 yards and 40 touchdowns in his career, holds 9 UNO records and 6 North Central Conference records. Truly one of the greatest quarterbacks that's probably played at Omaha U or UNO. Scott Bruin, 2-year letterman, starter in all 11 games this year, a genuine tough guy, business major from Elkhorn, Nebraska. Mike Reznicki, 2-year letterman who's had 234 yards rushing, an excellent special teams player, a transfer from Delaware University. Kevin Hageman, 2-year letterman, a transfer from Nyack Junior College, a very tough, bullish type nose guard, been a good football player for us. Kevin Monroe, 3-year letterman, 35 catches this year for 522 yards, 63 career catches for 891 yards and 6 touchdowns. Mark Murphy, 3-year letterman, 58 tackles this year, 98 for his career, one of the better nose guards in the North Central Conference. Bob Roop, co-captain, 4-year letterman, 3-year starter, first team North Central Conference in 1983, 197 career tackles, 6 pass interceptions. Jeff Pate, punter, 100 career punts for 36-yard average, has had excellent kicks for us this year, a solid all-around athlete. Thurman Ballard, co-captain, 2-year letterman, 55 tackles this year, member of the all North Central Conference strength team, the strongest player, exercise physiology major from Omaha Burke. Darrell Peitzmeyer, 108 career tackles, 6 interceptions, a 2-year starter, a 3-year letterman from Fremont High School. Ray Stala, 3-year letterman, 2-year starter, 94 career tackles at defensive cornerback, 3 interceptions, and also is a leading punt returner for our football team this year and a fine, fine leader. Brian Nelson, a Marine veteran who walked on, has rushed for 1,060 career yards and 16 touchdowns. He's our leading rusher in 1984, a 3-year letterman. Parnell Bryant, 3-year letterman, 2-year starter, 99 tackles this year, 182 career tackles, 11 interceptions, second team All North Central Conference, a business major from Central. Gary Keck, 3-year letterman, 2-year starter, 166 career tackles, 13 tackles this year behind the line of scrimmage. One of the most emotional and best players I've been around in a long time. A great group of seniors for 1984, Ross.
Sandy, we're going to let you take a breather, and when we come back, we'll talk about the playoff situation right after this timeout. Well, that was pretty simple, wasn't it? The NCAA Division II playoffs start November 24th. 8 teams are invited to play in the first round. Sandy, any idea when you might get an invitation?
Hopefully we'll officially know tomorrow whether or not we're going to be selected for the playoffs, and we may know who our opponent may be. We feel like it'd be good to let us know early so we can obviously do a good job of preseason or sales and promote the game and of course make arrangements hopefully for it to be at UNO. If we're going to be the host team, and we'll find that out, tickets will go on sale Friday morning at the UNO Field House, the entrance to the Field House. Of course, there's $6.50 for reserve, $4.50 for general admission, and $3 for UNO students. It is an NCAA championship game, so nobody gets in free, even the coaches-wise have to pay. It's just one of those situations where, of course, it goes to team travel and what have you for the playoffs. But hopefully we have a chance of maybe hosting Northwest Missouri out of Marysville in the first playoff game.
What do you know about them? Have you heard anything?
Know a lot about them. They're a very good football team. Vern Thompson's in his second year as head coach there. He came from Ellsworth Junior College, a native of the state of Nebraska. This year he's 10-0 currently and ranked in the top 10. They have one more ball game against Northern Iowa in the Dome this coming Saturday afternoon, but I'm sure they're automatically going to be in the playoffs with a 10-0 record regardless of what happens. They have a lot of junior college football players. They have Brian Quinn, a quarterback, along with Randy Naran, who have been 1-2 in the nation in passing efficiency. So you're going to see, if those two teams are paired up together, the two best quarterbacks in college football in Division II, maybe on Al Caniglia's field November 24th.
Well, we should find out tomorrow whether UNO is playing Northwest Missouri State. That's our show for tonight. Next week, we'll take a look at the entire 1984 season. For head coach Sandy Buda, I'm Ross Jernstrom. Join us next week at the same time for Maverick Football.